video, I really want to talk to you guys about 4 things that I really want to stop doing to help myself get to the next level financially and eventually get to millionaire status. Come sit with me while I do some very basic makeup. Yeah, let's go. I recorded this video last week and then there was no sound. You guys said, can you please record it? Please re-record it doing your makeup. I was gonna do the whole process, but then it was taking long for my mics to charge, so I had to get started because I need to literally be somewhere in 30 minutes. Okay, so the first thing that I am definitely going to stop doing, being so stuck on consuming inspirational content to the point sometimes where I prioritize consuming inspirational content as opposed to actually taking action. So for example, I am someone who, I love a podcast, I love listening to other people's stories, I love listening to, let's say, the Diary of a CEO, etc. But I was realizing, let's say I had free time, right? I'd rather put on something like an interview and actually take action towards my own thing. And the issue is with that is that I would literally be telling myself, oh no, I need to watch another video on how, I don't know, someone built their business to be able to apply that knowledge to my own life, right? But in reality, I feel like I was just indulging in productive procrastination. I don't need any more information than what I have right now. I know everything that I need to know to get to the next level, and anything I need to know beyond that is probably going to come to me more once I actually take action than it coming to me by listening to other people. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do your research, you should always do your research, but there will come to a point where the researching is enough, and the next steps for you to actually make significant improvement, you actually need to start acting. So that is one thing that I am definitely stopping doing. So practical ways that I'm doing that is I'm literally switching out a lot of my inspiration-led content for action-led content. And so what I mean by that is, instead of watching a video on how someone built their business, I'm actually prioritizing watching videos like how to open a business account in Dubai, how to start my first newsletter, stuff like that are actually more around me taking action. With that as well, I'm also shifting a lot of my energy to other platforms like Skillshare, because the good thing about Skillshare is a platform that is catered for you to learn and implement as opposed to just entertainment, right? It's actually designed for you to learn. And so I've been taking one class by Thomas Frank. It's about creating systems for creatives. I have been building out my systems on Notion, and I will be sharing on my newsletter, I think, first what my new systems are looking like. And so far it's been so far so good. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been a little bit more consistent, especially with short form content. But I'm still working things out, and hopefully by the end of the month, the second half of the year, I can really start to see the benefits of those systems that I'm building. But that's one of the things that I'm doing. You guys know that I also started my newsletter, and so I'm just focusing on how I can actually grow that. I'm also taking a class on Skillshare for that, and I really love that Skillshare is always willing to work with me, because I genuinely do use Skillshare, especially when I want to get really practical with things. I actually also have classes on Skillshare as well, if you guys are interested, which is all about how to productively manage your side hustles alongside your full-time job. So you guys can take that, and the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description box will actually be able to get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So you can take my class, or you can take any of the classes that I previously mentioned, if you're also looking into just taking more action. But in general, even when it comes to taking action, I feel like just consuming less content is quite important as well, especially when it comes to doing things that I'm doing now, like writing and stuff like that. Not even especially now, I think it's good in general. I am just someone who, I always like to have stuff in the background, like YouTube videos or vlogs in the background, but now I'm prioritizing a lot more silence. Next thing that I'm going to make sure that I stop doing is giving in to overconsumption. I feel like the internet, and also maybe influencer culture as well, not even maybe, for sure influencer culture as well, has got us all into over consuming on so many things. I think the easiest example to give in this case is perfumes, right? I get it, there are some there are people who it's their content is perfumes, or it's their passion and they collect perfumes as a thing and blah blah blah. But with the internet, I feel like even those of us who perfume isn't our passion, because we see so much of overconsumption in just the little things like that, we also subconsciously start doing that as well. And now you also feel like you need a collection of 20 perfumes that realistically you're not going to get through in a year. And I don't even know what the shelf life is on perfume, but I don't even know if you should be having perfumes for that long. But because we're so used to seeing overconsumption on the internet, we pick that up, and in the little areas and in areas of our lives, especially where overconsumption of that thing is not something that you are naturally inclined to. So I would say like perfumes, like growing up, I only really have maybe like 3 perfumes. And if anything, I'll go to my mom's and steal hers if I needed like something different. But you wouldn't be having, even now I have maybe like, I don't know, over 10 perfumes. And it's like, really, do you need over 10 perfumes? Not really. But the internet has kind of got us sucked into this overconsumption of everything. Like makeup, you need to have so many palettes and so many lip colors and so many foundations and so many concealers and blah blah blah. And I think all of us are just getting sucked into it. But one thing that I am trying to do is be a bit more conscious of when I'm subconsciously taking in overconsumption where it's not necessary. I'm all for spending money where your values lie or where your passions lie. If you're actually genuinely passionate about shoes and you want to grow a shoe collection, that makes sense. If I'm genuinely passionate about perfumes and I want to grow a perfume collection, then that's fine. But I don't want to start growing collections and things that I actually really don't care about just because. And instead, I can take that money and redirect it towards things that I actually do care about, or investing it. The third thing for me is going to be prioritizing quantity of income streams over quality of income streams. I am absolutely pro multiple streams of income, and as time goes on, I just see more and more why like you need to have multiple streams of income, even just from a mental health perspective. It's so important, like so important. But I don't want to get caught up in thinking that the number of income streams is more important than the quality of income streams that you have. For me personally, I feel like you can actually do a lot better with 4 solid income streams, and then trying to have 8 income streams. You don't even give enough time to each of the income streams, or you're stressed out because you have so many different avenues where money is coming from. And I think the reason why, having the number of income streams has become so popular is because there's this stat that like, oh, the average millionaire has maybe 7 streams of income and stuff like that. And that's not surprising at all. You also have to be able to differentiate what is causation and what is not necessarily correlation, but what is a cause of. And so what I mean by that is, just because you look at millionaires now and you see that they have 7 streams of income doesn't mean that they made those millions through 7 streams of income. They may have 7 streams of income now because, I don't know, let's say they hit the millionaire jackpot and then they realize, let's say they spent time building one business and then through building that one business they made $1 million, and then they realized that actually I can now take this $1 million and implement it in different ways to increase my streams of income. And I think if we were to really do a deep dive into these 7 streams of income that all these millionaires have, I would bet that there is only maybe 1 or 2 main streams of income that they had whilst they were actually growing their income streams. And when they reached a certain level, they were able to multiply so many of it. And we also have to exclude a lot of YouTubers from that stat, because a lot of YouTubers, myself included, will say that, like we have 7 streams of income, 6 streams of income, blah, blah, blah. But then a lot of those income streams are actually highly correlated. And so they're not very diversified. So for example, let's say you have brand sponsorships, affiliate income, that all might be tied to the one income stream of just having a YouTube channel, and the how well those other income streams do is dependent on how well the YouTube channel is doing. So yes, they might be multiple streams of income, but they actually try to isolate them and look at which ones of these income streams are actually properly diversified and stand independently. You'd find that actually, so the content creator might say they have 8 streams of income, but if you actually distill it down it might only be like 3. The last thing I'll mention is letting go of a scarcity mindset and building on an abundance mindset. And this is, and you know, when people make certain videos about like money and stuff and they're not actually speaking about like money strategies, it's very easy to be like, oh, this is just generic stuff, like, oh yeah, that's not really going to make you become a millionaire or, you know, improve your financial situation and stuff. But having a scarcity mindset for sure will stop you in so many ways. For example, with a scarcity mindset, you might want to start a business and then, or you have an idea that you want to do, and then you see someone do that same thing or have that same idea or release that same kind of video, and then instead of you to be like, oh, if this person did it, then obviously that means that I can do it too. Like, if this person is also doing it, this is evidence that it's actually working. When you have a scarcity mindset, you're going to see someone else do that same, have that same business idea or have that same podcast idea, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I guess I can't do it then because someone else has already done it. Or, you know, I guess I can't do it then because I don't want this person to think that I'm copying them. Or I guess I can't do it then because there's only space enough for one person. Or even I was talking on a podcast, I think I released 2 reels now about this. Women make up a big proportion of spenders, especially in terms of like retail and stuff like that, right? So yes, we do spend a lot, but actually a lot of women are really good savers. And I know this because, like I've been saying, I've been speaking to people who have a lot of money saved up, and it's always women, like lots of, like, I'm talking tens of thousands of pounds saved up, and I know, and they're not investing that money, and I know that fear is coming from having a scarcity mindset in terms of, like, you know, they don't want to spend the money because they spent so much time saving it, they don't want to spend it, or they're very skeptical of everything out there, like, and you're like over researching because you're just so attached to that money that you're like, if this money goes, I don't know if it's going to come back, or if this money, oh, I just really want to be sure I'm putting it in the right thing. And so you turn down so many things because you're still operating. We sometimes still operate from that scarcity mindset of just like wanting to hoard everything. I am actively trying to let go of that because I don't think you ever just completely let go of a scarcity mindset, especially if it's something that you might have picked up when you were younger and you've operated like that for so long. I personally don't, even though I've made progress and changes, I definitely still feel like it's something that I'm still trying to get better at, and I still have to identify the traits in certain things that I'm doing. And so yeah, so there are certain times where I'm like, oh man, like this thing, oh, do I really want to spend money on this, or do I have to pay for this again, or like just spending, especially when it comes to money, just spending a lot of money on certain things. But the more I associate myself with people who are making way more money than I am, has had to put down a large outlay of money at some point, like just take the risk and put down a large outlay of money, and they didn't know whether it was going to work or not, and it did work. And so I just know that, you know, if I continue with the scarcity mindset, I'm never going to get as far as I want to go, because where others are willing to take big risks, I'm still going to be very weary of like, no, but I have to be so sure about everything because I can't even lose 1 penny. Everything has to be accounted for. Okay, you guys, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which one of the 4 points that I raised resonated with you, if any. And don't forget to check out Skillshare for more action-led content. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.